And that was the first time that I have used the music, the background music overlay. And boy, oh boy, did I like it. Good morning, you wonderful humans. We are back. My name is Seth Spicer, and this is Connected Community Health Support and their virtual exercise stream. I already see Happy Face in the chat. Good morning, Happy Face Candle. Let's read out your joke for everybody. Why did the trainer have to keep getting new clothes? People kept telling him that he was ripped. That's good. That's good. I like that one. I'm probably going to use that for my gym bro friends. Be like, hey man, you need some new clothes. And anyway, I like it. That's a good one. Glad that one's in the chat. I'm gonna put up week 19. Boom, boom. If you were just watching this video, you've probably been here for a while. Week 19, day 60 already. If you're here today, you've been here for 60 days, and that is a very long time. So pat yourself on the back. Congratulations. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of the work that you do. Every morning is not easy, but being here every day and being consistent, well, that is the important part. Glad you are here. Per usual, you know what's going on. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, myself, Adam Fox, and Jacob Carroll are here at 7:30 a.m., noon, 5:30 p.m., and 7:30 a.m. again. And of course, that is always on our social media sites. And that's what I forgot to do. I'm going to start putting it at the bottom during our warm-up period. It's going to be a great time. It's a great idea. I'm going to do it. So, you know the deal. Warm up, 45 minutes worth of exercise, cool down. I'll give you the wonderful little tidbit and then send you on your way for the day. You know what it is. You know we do this to make health and fitness more accessible for people who might not have the time, money, or feel comfortable going to the gym. And you know that I am Seth and this is CCHS. We know that you are anonymous for the most part, if you'd like to be, or of course you can tune in at any time on the chat on the left. We love feedback, engagement, or just friendly banter in the chat at all times. And of course, you can always reach out to us if you like. Get connected, chs30@gmail.com. If anybody has any jokes that can top Happy Faces, I don't believe you, but you can try and put them in the chat. Or if you just have any general questions, I have a couple degrees in exercise science and athletic training type stuff. I could probably answer most of your questions. So feel free, shoot those into the chat as well, and we'll see what we can do. Now, for some reason, this little box is still coming up, so I'm going to take a moment, go down to source, and then click exit. Just want to get this guy off my screen. And, all right, let's try this again. Okay. All right, there we go. And now we are ready to go this morning. Per usual, we're going to start with our warm-up, and we will start from the bottom and work our way to the top. Start with your ankles. Let's just get a couple ankle rolls in there, ankle circles. If you prefer to have them airborne, you absolutely may do them airborne. Switch sides. This morning was not one of the easy ones to wake up, but you know what? That's what we get for staying up late and not following our own sleep advice. Gotta practice what you preach. Ankle circles, elevated if you like on the other side. I will say that for the most part, we do practice what we preach, but once in a while, we're all human. We all slip up and, stay up watching Gossip Girl. Anyway, so next up, we're going to be doing our leg swings. Forgot to bury one of our chargers before I started, so I'm not going to step on it. We're going to be doing leg swings per usual, forward and back. Go ahead and join me if you like, holding onto a wall or other sturdy surface. And then go ahead and switch sides. You can go forward and back while holding onto something like a wall if you like. All right. Now we're going to do my personal favorite, hacky sack skips. Go ahead and join me with those. Just in and out, like you're kicking a hacky sack if you've ever done that before. I've only done it a couple times, and I am bad. All right, switch sides. Honestly, a hacky sack would probably be pretty good for my hips at this point. All right. Very nice, very nice. And now, per usual, could you list the 7, 8 basic movements that should be part of every workout? Please and thank you. Ooh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to do that as a whole chunk. So as I list the 7, 8 movements that should be a part of every workout, I will encourage you to carry on with your warm-up as we do shoulder circles. So go ahead and get your shoulders warmed up as I go over them. So that's a great question in the chat. Please go over the 7 or 8 basic movements that should be a part of every workout. So there's a lot of different philosophies out there, but generally I say there are about 7 or 8 movements that should be a part of every workout to guarantee that you get yourself a full body workout. Keep doing those shoulder circles. Get a couple stretches if you need this morning while I talk about this. So for the legs, it is a hinge and a squat. For the upper body, it's a horizontal press, a horizontal pull, a vertical press, and a vertical pull. So those are the big 6 that go into your upper and lower body respectively. Hinge, squat, and then vertical and horizontal push and pull for your upper body. From there, I really like to include other things like, well, it's hard to hang, right? Hanging is good. Throwing is good. Crawling is good, right? Those are some really fundamental things that humans evolved to do. Hang, crawl on the floor as we're a baby. That's how we learn to move. And then throw, right? So if you can include those 3 other things, that's great. Generally, we just summarize that as CCHS as core. All right, so we do core 1, core 2, and then the other 6 big movement patterns. Great question. Love that. Thank you for throwing that in there. If you ever want to talk about how people categorize movement or anything like that, we'll save that for a question and answer session like the one we have coming up this Sunday on our platform. What? Question and answer session. We'll talk more about that as we continue the warm-up. For the time being, we're going to carry on with a warm-up and go to our T-spine rotations. We are here. Breathe in, breathe out, and rotate towards the wall. Breathe in, breathe out, and rotate towards the wall. All right. And then carry on and do that a few more times on each side until it feels good. We're putting tools in your tool belt. Same thing, reach underneath, reach to the sky. And this is, of course, just another T-spine rotation that you can do. Reach underneath and reach up to the sky. I like this one because it blocks your hips and it forces you to rotate from your T-spine instead of from your hips. That's a good one if you feel comfortable on the floor. Lastly, let's just do some neck circles. Throw in some good old-fashioned neck circles to get us ready for this workout today. And then we'll get started. We're still at 60-30. We're still at 60-30. This week, is still talking about personal finance for our tidbit. Stay tuned to the end for that. And we're still at 60-30. Work to rest. All right. I clearly need to stretch my neck a little more after this, but that is on my own time, not on our time. All right. My hair is a mess this morning. Lo siento. All right. With that, without further ado, I'm going to start right off by saying if you're watching this on replay, feel free to hit us with that like, that follow, that subscribe on whatever platform it is that you are watching on, because it'd be great for us. And then you can get a bunch of different reminders every day saying that we are going live, we are doing replays. Be sure to live a healthy life, because that's what the replays are for. To say, are you being mindful like CCHS has told you to be? Hopefully. So after this, we're going to get started now with our floor touches and the normal routine. So go ahead and find your space, clear your space. We're going down to floor touches. And yes, that is the hinge that I was just talking about. That should be included in your workouts just a second ago. I'm going to start the timer. And we're dropping. We are dropping our phone on our whole setup onto our laptop. And now we're getting started. Ready? Begin with exercise number 1. Our hinge movement. Floor touches. Hopefully my laptop doesn't touch the floor. Keep on going with the floor touches while I readjust my camera. That's all. And that is how you know it's live. Again, hinges, the primary movement. Your hips go back. You have a flat back, ideally the whole time. Your back starts to round. You don't even need to go the whole way down. You can come down, touch your hands to the knees, and come back up if you like. That works just the same. And of course, you can do a single leg deadlift or a glute bridge. I'm going to do a glute bridge. I haven't done that in a minute this next round coming up. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Next up, we have our alternating rows. And that looks like this. We're going to be in a bent over position, starting with our reach to the floor, row, row, alternating like so. This program is recorded before a live virtual audience. That's funny. Starting with a row in 3, 2, 1, begin. We're all rowing together. Again, if you get tired, you may absolutely put one forearm on a knee and row from that position to keep the low back. Maybe do double taps or triple taps. The low back feeling good. Like you're starting a lawnmower engine. Happy face, glad you're in the chat this morning. Feels good. 15 more seconds. If you have a chihuahua in a case, maybe you can lift him up. Maybe get a jug of orange juice. Time with that exercise. Starting in 30 seconds, we will move on to exercise numero 3, which is pull to press, which is a pull to press, which is just our D1 movement patterns. Feels good. Hits the post delts, gets us a good back workout. Starting with that in 3, 2, 1, begin. This is also more like a disco to me, if you ask me. So no better way to start the day than Monday and Friday at 7:30 a.m. with a little bit of disco, no matter who you are, no matter where you are. I like to alternate. Left hand's on top, Right hand's on top. And if you're saying, hey, this just doesn't feel good for me, I wish I could have one-on-one coaching and that you could see my form on all of these things. Well, CCHS does do virtual personal training for super, super cheap. It's only $19.99 per hour. Compare that to other prices and other people, and that's ridiculous. Time with that exercise, I felt that. Oh boy, did I feel that in my post delts. I hope you felt it as well. That's good stuff. Next up, after our pull to press, we have our knee to elbow dance. Basically like doing a little jig. It's reaching the left heel forward, reaching the left toes back, bringing them across to the knee, and putting them back down again. Join me with that. 3, 2, 1, begin. Left heel forward, left foot back, across the body, and down. Forward, back, across, down, forward, back, across, down. Reach as far forward and as far back as you can. If you want an extra little bit of workout, breathe out on the cross. When you reach across the body, that's when you want to breathe out. Forward, back, across. Forward, back, across. Forward, switch sides. Forward, back, across. Forward, back, across. Forward, back, across. Forward, back, across. Sometimes I get confused. Sometimes I don't know what to do. Sometimes because of that, I just sing a little tune. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time with round 1 of that exercise. Now we get to move on a little bit. And we have the lovely exercise. It's not quite Flappy Birds, I admit. But we do get squats. Now, squats, go to whatever depth feels good for you. The squat is obviously the squat pattern. We have a few different squat patterns that we use in the live stream. But for today, we're going with a good old-fashioned bilateral squat. Ready? Begin. And we're just squatting down to a depth that you can maintain, keyword maintain, for 60 seconds while still being able to hold a conversation. So the question is, why do I need to be able to hold a conversation? Because if you can hold a conversation, you are at the intensity level that is required to primarily burn fat. And that's what this whole stream is all about, right? Teaching you the different lifestyle hacks that you need to live a healthy life, to reach your weight loss and health goals, to have somebody there to support you and join you in your journey. And with that said, I hope that we are doing that exactly. And you should be able to burn fat by remaining in the ideal aerobic intensity, aerobic exercise intensity level. Time with the squats. Translation: if you cannot cuss me out in full sentences because you are upset with me, if you can only use 1 or 2 words at a time, you're working too hard. All right. I want essays written. I want essays spoken to me behind that screen that I will never hear. All right. Next up, we have our push-ups on the wall, on the floor, or on the door, starting in 3, 2, with the core. Ready, begin. I'm going from the knees this morning. For an entire minute. That's going to feel good, I can tell. Just push the floor away. That is your cue. Keep the core tight. Push the floor away. If something hurts, tell me in the chat. We can find a variation of the exercise that feels good for you. We can stretch it out at the end. Let me know which stretch you want, and I'll show you that one, of course. Time with that exercise. That is our horizontal press movement. Just to add that to your repertoire. H2O. After our horizontal press, we always throw in a little bit, well, we try to throw in a vertical pull variation. This one is hard, but we're doing the alternating snow angel starting in 3, 2, 1. Begin. Hands up in front, down to the side and back up, down to the side and back up. If you want to put one hand in the knee while you do it, that's okay too, if that feels more comfortable in this position. Here we are. Alternating 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep breathing. Breathing heavy for a couple breaths. Really getting your air in is a good way to feel more recovered. Sometimes when you're doing these things, we breathe shallow. 3, 2, 1. Time with that exercise. Woo! Feeling good this Friday morning. All right. Took me a second to get warmed up, but now I'm feeling it. I hope you're feeling it too. After our alternating snow angels, we have our bear crawl. This is core exercise number 2. You can do a plank from the wall if you like, or join me on the floor with a bear crawl on all fours, starting in 3, 2, 1. Ready. Begin. Knees up off the floor. Of course, we'll hold this for as long as we can, but once we fatigue out, either elevate the butt or you may drop the knees down and go to a tall plank position. I like to move around a little bit. Push the floor away. Bring the feet back. Drop the knees down. Push forward into a tall plank position. If you're on the door, stay there. If you're on the couch arm, carry on. And time with round number 1. Time with that exercise. We are D-O-N, done. I love those jokes. Next up, we're going back up to the top for our floor touch. This is the end of the week 19 routine after we're done today. We're going on to week 20 after this. Holy crap. 15 seconds. Grab a drink. Tune in starting at 9 a.m. on Sunday, Eastern time for our stream marathon. Floor touches or a glute bridge, starting in 3, 2, 1. Ready, begin. This is our hinge variation. It's either a glute bridge or a standing hinge. Both are hinge variations. Both require you to use your posterior chain, your glute, your hammies, your back muscles to extend the hips. Ten more seconds. Keep working. And time with that exercise. After that, of course, we're going to number 2, which is our horizontal pull. If you have a rowing machine at the gym or a dumbbell row, that's the same thing. About our stream marathon starting at 9 a.m. on Sunday. We're doing a live question and answer session with myself, Jacob Carroll, Adam Fox, and Rashid. And that after an hour, we'll go into an exercise marathon for us and attempt to spread awareness about making health and fitness more accessible with various questions. Alternating rows, starting in 3, 2, 1. Alternating rows. Ready? Begin. And really what we'll do is we will answer a bunch of questions that people have sent in, as well as live questions on the stream as well. We'll probably go under the title, Just Chatting. But the whole premise is that somebody will be exercising the entire time. You don't have to exercise. All you have to do is tune in and say, hey man, there's some dudes chatting about exercise and health and wellness. I can ask them any question I want. And then you ask us a question, and then we answer it. 3, 2, 1, time with that exercise. Next up, we have the pull to press, the disco move, if you will. So yes, one of us at CCH are going to be exercising maybe for 24 hours. Well, we said until midnight or until we get 500 followers on Twitch, whichever comes first. And the entire time, we'll be talking about our 7 pillars and how we try to encourage people to live a healthy life through those pillars. Disco, starting in 3, 2, 1. I'm coming up front for it. Begin. Boom. And of course, the 7 pillars that we will be talking about through the course of our live stream will be the same ones that we use for our health coaching. That is our lifestyle modification, behavioral modification. Those are the same pillars that we touch on through these entire programs, but it's good to hear them all at once. And there will be more information for a larger audience all at once. So if you're bored on Sunday, starting at 9 a.m., hit us up on these same channels, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube Live, and watch us answer a bunch of live questions about health and ramble on about some really cool, actionable health tips. Time with that exercise. Next up, after the pull press, we have knee to elbow. That is our little dance that ultimately results in a little knee to elbow action. Hydrate or dehydrate, kids. All right. Here we go. Starting the little jig in 3, 2, 1. Begin. Left, back, across, down. Gonna do this for 30 seconds and then switch sides. If you're watching this on replay, welcome. I hope you enjoy doing a little jig this morning. I hope you've enjoyed what we're sharing. Glad you found us. Switch sides, across, forward, back, across. If you're just finding us and just watching this, this is Connected Community Health Support, looking to make health and fitness more practical and more accessible for people who don't have the resources or comfortability to go to a gym to begin their exercise journey. You can do it all from home, and you can do it all anonymously with CCHS. And time with that exercise. I'm at a perfect level right now of being able to breathe. That's how you know that you're having a good exercise, because I can still communicate with you guys. All right, squats. Next up, we have some squats starting in 7 seconds. Go to a depth that you can maintain. 3, 2, 1. Ready? Boop. Begin. Here we go. If you want to touch your elbows, to your thighs, elbows to the knees. It's whatever feels good for you. Like, follow, and subscribe not only to the live stream, but also to our all of our socials, really, at Connected CHS. That's where we give away our free information. Of course, it's not information that we need. It's one-on-one support, which we offer through our services for either super stupid cheap, but our live stream is only half of our free stuff. The other half of our free stuff is the information that we give out on those social platforms. So check us out. Time with the squats. Whew. We go through on our Instagram and our TikTok and just give away tons of information about the 7 pillars, about fitness, nutrition. So if you haven't followed us there, that's a great way to turn your virtual environment into a more healthy, sustainable, supportive environment as well. Push-ups from the floor, from the door, from the couch, starting in 3, 2, 1. Begin with the push-ups. Keep the core tight. Push the couch away. Push the floor away. Be like happy face. Always happy. Always supportive. Anonymously throwing jokes into the chat to brighten up CCH's day without fail. 10 more seconds. One more. And time. With that exercise, that one will get the heart rate up. Imagine for 9 straight hours, you don't have to exercise. You just have to ask someone from CCHS a question while they exercise. And tell your friends to give them a follow on Twitch so that we don't absolutely die after 3 hours. That would be awful. Alternating snow angels are next. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Ready. Begin. Here we are. And alternate. If you want a regression, you may absolutely put one forearm on a knee. We're making some progress here. Keep with me. I'm going to throw down, forward, back, forward, forearm on a knee, one at a time. Feel free to join me with that. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and time with that exercise. This exercise is becoming aerobic. Oh man, if you're gonna show up this early in the morning, you can at least ask if someone has their hair done for you. My apologies. Next up, we have our bear crawl. Bear crawl is core exercise number 2. And for core exercise number 2, feel free to join me with a plank on the door or a bear crawl on the floor, starting in 3, 2, 1. Ready. Begin. Knees up off the floor. Now we hang out for a second. If you're on the door and you want a little bit more of a workout, feel free to do shoulder taps on the door, or if you're on the floor and you want more of a workout, feel free to do that on the floor as well. I will not be joining you. You can do basically a tall plank from the couch as well, and I encourage that. And of course, once we fatigue out, drop it down to the knees, come forward into a tall plank position. This works the core just the same. And maybe now we can do some shoulder touches together. 3, 2, 1, time. With round number 2, give yourself a pat in the back. It's getting hard. Take it easy. All right, let's let this first one for round 3 not be too overwhelming. All right, go at an intensity that's good for you. That bear crawl can get a little hard. The plank can get a little hard, especially when preceded by squats and push-ups. So, Hakuna Matata. We're going back to the top. Choose the exercise that feels good for you. We can either have a glute bridge or a floor touch. I'm going with the floor touch because it's easier. 3, 2, 1, ready. Begin. Just going down, touch the hands to the knees, maybe a little lower. Squeeze the glutes if you don't feel it in the glutes and you aren't doing it right. Pull the hips forward. If you want to go down all the way to touch the floor, I recommend it. Reaching in between the legs to the floor. This is set number 3. I know the tidbit at the end is exciting. Feel free to stick around for it. About personal finance. It's not as in-depth as last time, but I think it's just as quality of a message. Time with that exercise. Beautiful. You know it's a good workout because I've gone through my entire water. Woo. Next up, we have exercise number 2, alternating rows, starting together in 3, 2, 1. Bear with me. Row, row. Happy face. Let me know when you get that shirt. I know it takes a long time to go up to Canada, but let us know. Alternating. Row, reach, row, reach, reach, row. Halfway. Keep it going. You can do a little reverse fly, the one hand on the knee, if you like. Again, whatever feels best for you for this row variation. Hey, what's up? Reach and row. How are you doing today? Ryan, sorry, I know sometimes there's a little bit of a delay in the chat, so it's hard for me to instantly reply. 10 seconds left in this exercise. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. How am I doing, bro? Honestly, Ryan, if I may call you Ryan, I'm getting pretty gassed. I'm feeling tired. This is an aerobic exercise that goes on for 45 minutes. And I force myself to communicate with the audience the entire time. And I need to take the intensity down a little bit myself. How are you today? Pull the press, a little disco action in front. Starting in 3, 2, 1, begin. Pull the sword out, raise to the sky. I call this the disco move. Ryan's gonna learn how to disco today. And of course, this is actually part of a D1, D2 movement pattern. So it's flexion, extension, external rotation. No, I'm sorry. There is the sheathing the sword, and then there is the batting away from you. Reaching up to the sky, seeing the bicep, putting it down there. Until then, we're just going to repeat though with the disco. I'm getting distracted. You need to increase your aerobic endurance. Well, you, sir, have come to the right place. I assume, sir, but I guess there's more of a turn phrase more than anything. Welcome. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Next up is the knee to elbow. Ryan, this whole program that we do here at Connected Community Health Support is an aerobic full body program that requires no equipment. So it sounds like you just come to the right place for aerobic endurance, because this is specifically and purposefully all within your maximum fat burn range. And what that means is fat burn is actually beta oxidation, which is used by the mitochondria to increase your aerobic endurance capacity. Translation, welcome. Starting with our little jig in 3, 2, 1, begin. Forward, back, across, forward, back, across, forward, back, across. This is the knee to elbow, what I've been calling the jig pretty consistently now. I might as well just embrace it. Ryan, I see it right there, but my eyesight is going forward, back, across. Switch sides, forward, back, across. And then I will come over and see what you said. I'll do it right now. YouTube. No such thing. No such thing. Never too polite. I will say, if this ever isn't your cup of tea, Ryan, we do very cheap virtual personal training as well, so that you can have one-on-one help and time with that exercise. So I know this is very general, and we love doing this for free to get this out to as many people as possible to avoid those barriers that happen with exercise. But we also understand that sometimes it requires personal one-on-one personal training, in which case we provide that at connectedchs.com. I'll get to that in a second. I'll touch on that. Next up, we have squats together, starting in 3, 2, 1, begin. Squats together. Good. Glad you are following along. That is good to hear. Somewhere out there, Ryan knows there's a person whom do we call Happy Face Candle that is all consistently exercising with us as well. We do this Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday right now. Yeah, there's Happy Face. Welcome, she says. We do this Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We do it at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time on Monday, Friday. Then we're here at noon on Tuesday and 5:30 p.m. on Thursday. So swing by or catch us on replay. Follow us on our social media accounts. We're constantly pumping out a whole bunch of free information about health and wellness, which is really based around aerobic fitness. Time with that exercise, because aerobic fitness usually comes along with a whole bunch of other indicators of health, which is fantastic. Of course, that comes along with sleep, comes along with nutrition, and our other pillars of our behavioral change and healthy lifestyle living, but besides the point. Next exercise, we have push-ups together. Push-ups can be regressed on the door, on a couch corner, or as Happy Face does it, on a counter corner. I'll be doing it from my knees on the floor, starting in 3, 2, 1, begin. If you were breathing too heavy to the point where you couldn't hold a conversation with me, take it a little easier. Go at an intensity, go at a pace, choose a resistance level that is good for you, all right? Oh, joining the British Army. Hell yeah, good for you. In that case, I know that push-ups, time push-ups and time pull-ups are usually a part of those tests. Usually there's a core exercise too, but I don't know what that might be. So I'll tell you what you can do is we always have core exercises. We always have push-ups are pretty much consistent in our program. 3, 2, 1, time with that exercise. Muscular endurance is a pretty key indicator with a lot of military testing. So with that said, feel free to replace, for example, our alternating snow angels. If you have a pull-up bar, hit those instead. That'll be the same replacement as a vertical pull. Or to set us up, we can hit you one-on-one as well. So we did push-ups. Speaking of alternating snow angels, starting in 3, 2, 1, begin. Both hands out in front, to the side, and forward, down, and forward. Instagram, I got you. Down to the side. Connected, CHS. It's pretty much our account names for everything. Also, I have a degree in athletic training and a master's degree in exercise science, and I really just love health and human performance. So I hope that I learn a thing or two by now, which also is to say, if you have any questions, shoot them into the chat over here. Ten more seconds with this exercise. We're almost done with the workout for the day. We're always here live, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You can count on a CCHS member to be here. Time with that exercise. Yeah, I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krebs. But we're almost done. Carry on. All right. Like, follow, subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Stick around for the stretch in the personal finance tidbit at the end. Yeah, we're not at that level yet. That's all right, man. I didn't think it was rude at all. But we are starting our bear crawl in 3, 2, 1. Ready. Hands and knees. Knees up. Or you can be doing a plank on the wall with alternating shoulder touches if you're on the wall. Now, I'm not too sensitive anyway, so it's all right, man. No rudeness taken. This is our last exercise of the workout. If there were ever a time to push it, now is the time. Over halfway. If you need to, push the butt up into the sky for a little bit of a recovery, downward facing dog position. If you need to drop the knees into a tall plank, you absolutely may. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time. Yeah, we don't really have our bots set up on that. All right, well done. Good work. That is the end of day 60. That is the end of week 19. Glad I could be there with you for the end of it. We're moving on next to week 20. Week 20, we've been over the American CDC's guidelines for aerobic physical activity each week for about 8 weeks now. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. I try to be nice. I try to put out good vibes into the universe. So we've been over that for 8 weeks now. We're coming up on the amount, not just that is recommended for exercise, but the amount of exercise that we can get to where we can sustainably lose weight by following along with this program without dietary intervention. Now, usually that's not a big deal because you should control your nutrition as well for optimal results, optimal health, of course. But I know for some of us, I like to eat. So I'm looking forward to the 400-minute per week mark. And that, of course, is based on actual research that CCHS looks into and reads. And doesn't just read the abstract. We actually digest the entire thing because we all have master's experience, at least. We can critically review this literature to make sure we're not just cherry picking or deducing false information from it. Oh, happy face. You're the best. Bang, right there. Questions can be submitted right there. We should, why don't we put that into the chat? We need mods. That's what we need to do. Looking forward to the question and answer. Ryan, if you're still with us here, we're doing an exercise stream marathon on Sunday, starting at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., we're going to have a question and answer session where one of us will be exercising for the entire hour. That's going to be on this same platform. We'll answer any questions that come into the chat over here live. All right. So if you have a question, show up Sunday, starting at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. But we're going all day until we get 500 followers on Twitch. We're really an organization, CCHS, Connected Community Health Support, is an organization devoted to making health and fitness more practical and accessible. So feel free to come on, share your questions with us, and we will talk your ear off about anything you have to ask. All right, looking forward to that. We're in cool down territory now, so feel free if you're not already. Yeah, it's Eastern time, because I know a lot of us are all over the place. Starting at 9 a.m. Eastern time and going until probably 12 p.m. unless we can get 500 followers. That's posted on our social as well for more information. Heck yeah, Ryan, I appreciate that. Bring your friends, bring your military friends, bring whoever you want. I'll answer any health and fitness related question, any lifestyle health question. Cool. As you're cooling down, remember, as I always say, breathe through your nose. Breathing through your nose forces diaphragmatic breathing, forces you to slow down your breathing, which activates your parasympathetic rest and digest nervous system. Really does a great job of just calming you down and saying, hey, we're done. All right. That way you can really go through and start to gain adaptation and really recover from the exercise, the stressor that you've just put yourself through. So nose breathe, do some sort of hugs, leg swings like we do with the warm up for a cool down. Nice. You'll be there. Thank you so much. Really looking forward to it. We are blasting this marathon on all of our personal channels and the Connected Community Health Support channel. Feel free to go on, give us a share if you want on our Instagram or whatever. Send it to whomsoever you like. Love to see you there. We could probably post our schedule of who's going when as well, but that's besides the point because we're all going to be talking about the same 7 pillars of lifestyle health and answering any questions that pop into the chat live, as well as pre-recorded questions from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. with the whole group of us. And again, somebody's going to be exercising the entire time. So very smart. I'm glad I found someone easily accessible to answer my questions. Yeah, always here. Always here. Anytime that we are live, we'll answer your questions. And if you ever have anything that's a little more deep, we do online health coaching as well, because I know a lot of people don't necessarily need a personal trainer because they might exercise regularly. But there are so many other facets that cover what it means to live a healthy life, right? I actually created a healthy lifestyle quiz. It's on connectedchs.com. It's on the top right of the banner. You can click on it and see how you score, how you stack up. That's kind of a fun one that I made that covers all the different areas as well. So there's social, environmental, there's personal finance, there's mindset and psychology, there is sleep, nutrition, fitness, and then policy change. All of those come together to make a healthy life. So glad I can answer your questions. I promise, though, that at the end we'd have a stretch, and at the end we'd have our personal finance tidbit. So without further ado, I'm going to give you that. I like this one. I've done the low back stretch often, but hey, what I'm going to recommend is not just a right over left hamstring stretch, which everyone has done, but I'm going to recommend a right over left hamstring stretch with the left foot rolled onto the outside of your foot. All right, so you're in the right foot over the left for a hamstring stretch, and roll your foot onto the outside of the left foot. And what that's going to do is that's going to specifically target your peroneals, and it's going to specifically target your bicep femoris. All right, that's a biarticulate hamstring muscle, which all you need to know is that's one of the hamstring muscles that crosses not only the knee joint, but also the hip joint. All right, and when you roll onto the outside, you put the bicep femoris as well as the peroneals because they're kind of connected, almost like a jump rope, like so at the knee joint. The fascia is all connected, which is just your muscle, tendon, ligament type stuff. It all plays a role together. And by rolling on the outside of your foot, you will be able to better stretch those muscles in particular. You will be able to target the outside muscles of the hamstring, the outside muscles of the calf, and you will feel it wherever you are most tight. All right. So if you're going left over right, roll onto the right side of your right foot and just hold that position as well. All right. Holding that. Just try and hold it for at least 30 seconds. That's when you start to really get some relaxation. There's things called antagonistic and reciprocal inhibition. There is muscle spindle inhibition after about 6 to 7 seconds. Just know that if you want actual tissue lengthening now, and not just nervous system relaxation, that you should hold it for a little longer, such as 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes if you really want some sustained type of stuff. Very helpful. I am very glad that I can be helpful. Glad I can find somebody who's going into the military. That's always I consider that a really fun performance challenge, because you have to increase your metrics pretty consistently over time. It really is just a great indicator for health to be able to do that, right? If that's the thing you need to get better on, do that. I used to run a thing called the Gorton SEALs program, and there's a lot of calisthenics with the Boy Scouts. It was a Boy Scout troop, Boy Scout camp I worked at. And I started the summer being able to do 35 push-ups in a row. And by the end of the summer, I could do 75 push-ups in a row. That was over the course of a 6 to 7 week program. And I just did push-ups 3, 4, 5 times a week, very consistently, right? And just by doing that, I got very good at push-ups, right? And it sounds like you said you're going into British military here in a little bit. So I don't know how long you said. I could probably check the chat. You will be the reason I passed all the tests. No. I hope that I can provide some sort of support. But as I always say, it's not the trainer who helps people pass the tests. It's just the trainer that reveals the hard work, that really empowers people to do the best work that they can do. The work all has to come from you. And I appreciate that right there. Few months is plenty of time to get into Army shape. Heck yeah, absolutely. You got to be consistent. That's the one thing I tell everybody. Consistency is key. You could throw bricks at a 10-year-old and they would get better so long as you do it consistently. All right. They would get more fit so long as you do it consistently. We always have a quote of the week this week, because it's personal finance. It is beware of the little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. A small leak will sink a great ship. And last time I talked about budgeting, and I think budgeting is really great. It's great to see your expenses and your income laid out in one little T shape. And I think that is a great place to start. But what this really all boils down to regarding personal finance is a very similar concept as to what we talk about with time management, with energy management in the mindset type pillar. They really all do come together, especially the mindset pillar. Those really cover a lot of executive functions. They can branch out and control and help a lot of the other pillars that we work on, right? So with that, what I'm trying to say is the best thing that we can do is be intentional with our personal finance. We can be intentional with our money. Because when you consciously think about each decision you make, just like nutrition, just like time management, once you have a goal and you put your time, energy, money into that goal, then you can really start to gain some progress with it, right? So whether that be a challenge, a financial challenge, like I think Adam said with the all cash diet, paying for your food with cash, right? Whether that be you have an income and you force yourself to pay 10%, have a system. It doesn't have to be the same system. It has to be a system that works for you. That is what this is all about, is people are so different and such individuals that no one thing is going to work for everybody. So we encourage you to take time, intentionally take time to intentionally spend and save your money, to intentionally reach your health and fitness goals, because there's no better investment than your health, right? Speaking of finance, no better investment than your health. I mean, if you think about, the cost of being overweight, or I think it was in America, if you are over a BMI of 30, you'll spend an average of $1,400 a year on medical expenses as you get into life, on different medications and medical bills as a result of that. That's impeccable. Think about what you can do with $1,400 each year, right? Or better yet, you could invest $1,400 a year into your health and into things that allow you to live a healthier life. And then later in life, you don't have any more money necessarily, but your quality of life is much better, because instead of paying for medical expenses, you're paying for fitness and you're living your best life. You're reaching your health goals. You can be on this earth for a longer period of time. You can walk your kids down the aisle, as I heard somebody say the other day. You can play with your kids, which is a great thing to look forward to, right? A lot of times in psychology, really quick side tangent, people don't care about what they have to gain, they care about what they have to lose, which is really, really unfortunate, because there's so much to gain with health and fitness between, cognitive functioning, right? Being able to think more clearly, like literally you get more bioneurogenesis, that's neuron growth, brain growth, after including aerobic exercise and then trying to learn, right? You get so much more energy. You can ward off depression. There's so much stuff that you can gain from exercise. But more than anything, it's people like to hear about what they have to lose. And unfortunately, it's a lot. So we're here to not only help you gain what you want, but also keep you away from what you don't want as well. Are you in university or something because you are so smart? Not anymore. I took my undergrad in athletic training at Alfred University in the States. And then I just finished my master's in exercise science, where I taught exercise physiology lab and was a track coach as well. And I just took the MCAT and have applied to medical school. So I try to be smart, but really there are people out there that are absolutely brilliant. And I know a million times smarter than me. I just try and be a conveyor of actual truth with all the misinformation that can be out there. And I'm not even saying in like a political way. I'm saying in a matter of health and fitness, there's so much misinterpretation. And there are so many false deductions from research that can really lead to just a whole bunch of bad stuff, right? There's always more to the story. And I think it was Einstein that said it, say it as simply as possible, but no simpler. I try and do the same. I try and say things straightforward without being too simple to the point where it's false deductions. Well, I'm not in yet, Ryan. So fingers crossed. We'll hear interviews in a little bit. Maybe there's a medical school person watching right now, because I would really love to go and be a doctor. So shout out medical people. I'm trying really hard. This is actually completely independent from medical school. And we were just in class one day, the story of CCHS. I was in class one day and we were talking about the obesity epidemic, which is in itself a stigmatized term. But we were talking about how that changes. And it was very focused on the individual. And it was like, if 78% of America is overweight, that's a systemic problem. That's not an individual problem before. That's never been a problem in the history of the world. It's the conditions in which we are living in. And you say, okay, you can have all this information out there, but why can't people actually change? People want to change. 90 million people in America alone in the last 12 months have tried to lose weight. COVID, 30 pounds was the average weight gain through COVID in America. People want to lose weight, but can't. That's a result of the conditions we're living in. That's pretty clear, right? But people deny it because there's a lot of money. There's corporations that are making billions of dollars to put fast food right in front of our faces, right? There's sedentary jobs that we live. There's technology that makes us more sedentary. But all that's to say that the conditions we live in are not an excuse for people to disregard the problem at the policy level. And that is why we have policy change as one of our pillars, because once we gain enough traction, we hope to be able to change that at the local and national level. The most effective change just happened at the community level. But there are certain conditions, the silent hand, if you will, that does control more so how we all interact with our environments, with ourselves, the policies that control us. And that kind of starts with something as simple as a sugar tax. Speaking of personal finance, if I bought a Coca-Cola and I had to pay 1 penny more, not much of a disincentive. If I had to pay, 76 cents more, well, now that's a bit of a disincentive. But not only would you get that money to go, like, you might lose a little bit of money as Coke, sure, fine. I mean, they're killing people, literally. But that money can also go back towards other health programs and health reforms, right? Things that make it easier for people to overcome those barriers, right? By taxing something as simple as sugar. I think it would be $3.5 trillion in tax we'd get if you put a 1 penny tax on a gram of sugar, or maybe a 0.1 penny cost on a gram of sugar. So I am American. Yeah, I'm American. I grew up in New York State. I'm streaming from central New York State right now. We actually have a lot of people from Britain that tune in. I think it was what was their name? Happy Face. It was shoot, I'm pulling a complete blank. But yeah, we had somebody else from the Isles that came over, and it was on our stream too. So with that said, personal finance, I went off on a long tangent there. It was all personal finance adjacent. But the point is a budget is the first step to being able to be intentional with your money. Once you see how much you have left, you can then allocate and intentionally focus that money either into savings or spending it on something that you want health goal wise. Maybe that is a personal trainer. Maybe that's virtual health coaching for only $9.99 per hour, or for 30 minutes. Stupid cheap, by the way. What? Because we want to make health and fitness more accessible, right? We understand that personal finance is a part of all of your health and wellness goals. So, and even then we provide it if anybody needs additional discount, we provide that too. So tell your friends. The best thing you guys can do to help us right now is to spread the word, because we think we have something kind of special going on here. So feel free to tell your friends about it as well, please, and thank you. With that, if you have any other questions, shoot them into the chat. You're going to be earning that big money when you finish medical school. you know, I think it's going to be 10 years, 10 years of school or something like that, medical school after residency and what I want to do. So long as that works out, maybe. Um, I heard something really interesting the other day. It was talking about money and power. And this is completely separate from the stream or connected community health support kind of, but money in a society is really power. But the way you frame that power is super interesting because there is, traditional Christian morals, which are of sharing and acceptance and love. And through power, you can advocate for justice, right? Through money, you can advocate for the justice and good in the world, right? And then there's other frames of thought which say that power is power for power's sake, for the ability to control. And that's not so kosher with me. But the point behind that is that I hope that if I ever do come into money or power or CCHS gains traction, that we can use that platform to bring value back into the world, to provide justice for what it is, right? Social justice for acceptance and love, and for equality and things of that matter. So I hope so. I hope that I can do good for the world, live a life of purpose. With that said, thank you all so much. If you have any questions, shoot them into the chat. Shoot them at connectedchs.com. Ryan, I'm glad you become acquainted with Happy Face. She is the man, as they say. Been here since day -1. Literally, we were streaming our practice rounds, trying to get used to it. And Happy Face was like, "What's up, y'all?" And we're like, this is a practice round. I don't know what to do here. So all of our streams are recorded at Connected CHS on YouTube. The money was because you power, but you need the brains to use that power effectively. I absolutely agree with that, Ryan. Yeah, there's too many people that don't have, or the values to hold steadfast to their brain, which is unfortunate. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been an effective and talkative session from my end. I hope you've enjoyed it. We had the stretch of the TIB. We had our personal finance tidbit, which is to be intentional with your money. We had our quote of the week, which is beware the little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. And we've gone over our workout, warm up, cool down as always. So thank you guys so much. Lastly, I will say it again. Like, follow, subscribe, and tune in on Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern for our live question and answer session with the whole CCHS Connected Community Health Support Group. We will be there to answer your questions live, and for likely the better part of a day, somebody will be exercising consistently until we get 500 followers or until midnight. So please, 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 for our sake, come rescue us. We don't want to be physically exhausted. I know Rashid will be here. Rashid Abou-Mali is our 4th member of Connected Community Health Support. He does a lot of our important back-end HR, financial type stuff, and is also an avid athlete that I competed with in track and field. So he'll be here as well after, I think, like a 3-hour run or something like that for his training, to also come back and do 3 hours worth of exercise live stream. So please help us out. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Even once we're live, tune in. That's 9 a.m. Eastern time in the United States. Ryan, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for the stream. I'll be in the stream a lot more. I love to hear that. Consistency is so crucial. Happy Face. It's Friday already. Holy crap. Enjoy your weekend. Have a happy, healthy weekend. Take time to be intentional with your time, money, and energy. I will see you all Monday. Seth Spicer on behalf of Connected Community Health Support, signing off. Thank you.